Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kumi, and welcome to our Lendflex Series 4 webinar on navigating financial landscape, where we'll be discussing challenges and opportunities for businesses. I'm Kumi, and I'm thrilled to be your host for today's insightful session. But just before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's take a moment to break the ice. I'd like to ask everyone to share a quick story about a time when they faced a financial challenge in their business. How did they overcome that particular challenge? How did you overcome that challenge? Share your thoughts in the comment section from wherever you're joining us from. And, let's see what fantastic idea we have within our virtual room today. And also, as you are joining us today, you can drop a quick comment in the chat. Tell us which of the social media platforms that we're streaming from. Tell us which of those platforms that you're joining us from. We're on Facebook. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. On YouTube, you can find us at VendHQ. That's VEENDHQ. On Twitter, also, you can also join the conversation. That's VEEND official. I would definitely want to know. Yes, okay. So I can see some amazing insight popping in the chat. It's so fantastic to see that we have such wealth of knowledge and experience amongst us. Now, speaking of experiences, right? Today's discussion is actually really timely. You'll agree with me that the financial landscape of businesses, has been an intriguing blend of challenges and opportunity. I mean, most especially in recent times. And in this world today, change is very constant, right? Understanding these fluctuations and also being agile in our approach is very key. Not to worry, our guest speaker today is an expert in navigating these financial tides, and I'm genuinely excited to welcome him to share his wisdom with us. Before we dive in, let's also get to know ourselves a little bit better. Drop a quick hello or use an emoji that represents how you feel about today's topic in the chat. I'm not hosting this. I'm not hosting this webinar alone. I also have my colleague here who I'll be bringing on stage very soon. Her name is Chinwe. Hi, Chinwe.
Hi everyone. Hi, Kumi.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Chinwe. How are you doing today? Hello,
I'm
Chinwe. Are you there?
fine.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you, Chinwe, tell me that one thing that you're excited to learn about our topic today. What's that exciting thing that you're looking forward to learning from this topic today?
To learn
Chinwe, are you there?
about how businesses can.
Yes, you can go on.
Okay, I'm excited to hear how businesses can navigate their financial landscape and how they can move past these challenges as a business to achieve their corporate goals. Supporting customers has been a life-changing experience for me. I want to learn what it takes for these businesses to move to the next level in their financial journey so that I can help and support our customers as doing too.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chinwe. Oh yes, I can see a wave of hellos and also fantastic array of emojis. It's so wonderful to witness such enthusiasm. All right, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's session. He's a seasoned professional with an exceptional track record in understanding and also mastering the financial maze that businesses often navigate. His name is Olarenwaju Ogunkule, and he's an experienced entrepreneur and CEO of RevoCube Technology, specializing in ICT solutions for the education sector. And he has also established RevoCube.org, a CSR initiative supporting SMEs and NGOs with a focus on STEM education and entrepreneurship. His successful platforms like schoolcube.net and schoolteller.ng benefit numerous institutions and serves nearly a million users in several countries. Olarenwaju is pursuing a master's in information system management, actively engaged in community development. He also mentors students and advises various NGOs. His professional goal is to use technology to tackle Africa's socio-economic challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Olarenwaju Ogunkule. Hi, Larry.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kumi.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I think you can take the floor from here. Thank you so much, Larry. Over to you.
Okay, yeah, thanks so much. Really great to have me here. Please, I want to have an idea of how many minutes I have so that I can know how to wrap up my conversation as fast as possible.
All right. So I mean, you can teach us. You say, leader teach us. You can teach us in 25 minutes.
25 minutes. All right. And I
Yeah,
really like to have a lot of Q&A than just talking and blabbing all day. And thanks so
no
much.
problem.
All right. So thanks for the introduction. Although that profile sounds quite bigger than my person, but thanks so much for the warm introduction. So a quick introduction. My name is Olarenwaju Ogunkule. I would say I've been a software programmer for almost 20 years and made money out of tech for about 13 years. Officially, our oldest business will be 10 years this December. And when I got invitation to speak here, I was wondering how best to direct the conversation, because I would assume there are different levels of expertise out there, different industries. Some persons will be either early stage in the business, some mid stage, some could have gone far ahead. Even some could have been 20, 50 years in business, so probably have more experience than me. But what I would do today is that I want it to be more of conversation and relate a lot of the things I'll be saying, because you can just go online and find a lot of articles and essays about how to navigate the financial landscape and the likes. But what I'll be doing today is that I'll be relating every point to my own story and how we're able to practically activate most of these, how we're able to surmount most of these challenges in our own business. Okay. All right. So I hope you can still hear me. I can't get any further feedback. So I just want to be sure that you can hear me. Okay. All right. Oh, great. Okay. So now the topic is straightforward about navigating the financial landscape. And let's use it as just like an example of trying to get to a destination. Business is always on the move. And what gets you there, it's like some sort of energy, which is the finances. When there's no finance in a business, the business is dead. I usually use cars, like the transport system as examples, most of my analogy. When I try to get to a destination, no matter how massive your vehicle is, how fine it is, how nice looking it is, or how ugly it is, when it runs out of fuel, you get stuck wherever you are. And that's actually what leads to the death of a lot of businesses. And the Nigerian business landscape is a very, very unique one. It has its own tricks up its sleeves that you need to master, and nobody has mastered it all. We all, as entrepreneurs, we all receive that boost from different directions. But there are some ways we can really put some checks and balances to safeguard some of these unforeseen impacts that comes to the business. Okay, so I would be much more interactive than reading slides. I would have shared my slides, but my slides are just some key points to guide the conversation. All right, so said that the business landscape is characterized by numerous factors, especially like rapid changing markets, technological advancements, global uncertainties, and all of these factors come to shape how we think and how we react in businesses. So I'll use the vehicle as an example again. Let's say you're traveling from Lagos to Ibadan. You have to go through the express. And God forbid, when you're driving on the road, and like those days when they throw things on the road, your reflex activate there. You have to be fast, know when to swerve. When a funny driver has slept up on steering and swerves into you, what do you do? How do you navigate? So that's actually what we're trying to say. That's okay. In business, while you're running your business, while you're running your day-to-day activities, different kind of curveballs will be thrown at you. How do you navigate them, and how do you successfully get to the destination? And actually, the destination is usually virtual most times, because as you're getting close to the destination, you usually have new targets and new destinations further ahead in business till you have your exit strategy or handing over to another generation. All right. And in a bit to group this conversation, I would say the challenges and opportunities are actually peers. For every challenge as an entrepreneur, it's an avenue for another opportunity. So every challenge creates a new opportunity to be explored. And like the medical people would say, they call some the way the brain works, they call them neural pathways. Every challenge creates a new pathway in your mind, you already learn how to navigate those challenges for subsequent situations later on. So I'll be mentioning some of those challenges first. And when I'm done listing them, we'll now go back to each of them one by one and highlight and discuss on how we've been able to navigate some of them in our business using practical examples. We all know what COVID-19 did for a lot of businesses. Some businesses came out stronger, some went down. But in our own case, COVID-19 was also one of the major pivot points that really helped us to realign our business and meet up with our projections. All right, so the first thing I'll be mentioning here is market volatility, because that's what is usually like uncertainty. Is the most common challenge that affects finances in almost any business, be it in Nigeria, be it in US, be it anywhere. And the market can just, because you're actually selling and making money from the market, anything can come to the market and disrupt the market. And before you know it, that market you're trying to address or you've been addressing and you have projections, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years projections on, the whole market is gone. Then what do you do? How do you navigate that? The next challenge I will mention is regulatory changes and compliance. Let me come back to Lagos. I will assume a lot of entrepreneurs here are in Lagos. We can remember some years ago, there was regulation in Lagos about bikes. There were some startups that allow bike hailing services. They were at least picking up and thriving. Then the policy came based on some government decision and what the government had been saying security-wise and all those things. And those regulations came up. And so how do you navigate those challenges, those regulations? And sometimes some new compliance requirements can also come into your business. This usually affects maybe a lot of people in maybe not in real estate, healthcare, fintech, some other industries. So some of these compliance requirements are usually industry specific. So we'll discuss on how to navigate that too and survive those curveballs. The next thing is technological advancement. So if you're servicing customers in this age and time, I usually tell people that it's almost getting to a point where every single business is a technology company that does provide a service or a product. So, for example, in the nearest future, as a furniture company, you most likely have to become a tech company that sells furniture. As a flower company, as a catering company, you mostly have to become a tech company that does these things because, yes, technology is an enabler, but you really need to master technology and know how fast they are evolving. So that's one of the major challenges that affects the financial cash flow of businesses. And another one is the economic depression, general economic depression. The whole host, especially if you're in your host economy, if you are in Nigeria, you are in the States, and some incidents or some other financial decisions or instruments by the government has caused some sort of depression in the markets. You can't make money where there's no money. So if the money is not there, how do you get the money? So like I always use the example of the vehicle. I use an example of a vehicle that you fuel the vehicle, then gets to the destination. You need to keep fueling the vehicle to keep the business moving, to finance the business. But we all know some of the challenges we've seen driving vehicles in Nigeria. Sometimes when there's fuel scarcity, so no matter how skillful you are, except you have those connections, that's another conversation. How skillful you are, how you've been able to manage your fuel and all those things, you will still run out of fuel because there's scarcity. So that's actually similar to the economic depression challenge. So that means that's the funds not available in the market. So the market is dry. And how do you still manage and survive? So we'll discuss that. Sometimes in tech businesses, even in almost every major business now, cybersecurity is also a major challenge. Navigating that in terms of how these things pose threats to our businesses. We've already heard about a fintech recently that lost a couple of millions in Naira or US or something like that to cybersecurity and cyber threats. So we'll discuss all those challenges too and how to navigate them. And disclaimer, I'm not a finance person, so I'll be discussing as a business owner, not as a finance person or some CFA or ACC or some accounting drama. I'll just speak my regular business language, and I hope I'll be able to make sense at the end of the day. So cash flow, because they say cash is king, but in my own opinion, I usually say cash is not really the king, it's cash flow that is king. Because if you have cash and don't have the cash flow, a regularized or a structured or an understood flow of your cash, it's usually a problem. So you today you make 5 million, then next tomorrow you don't know what you make, and there's no order into it. So that can also be a major challenge in the financial landscape of a business. And most of these things I'm mentioning, you can see that some of them are outside finance, but they all impact the business in one way or the other that still affect the cash flow of the business, affect the finance of the business. And the next one is talent management. Hey, with this age of jackpot, people are coming and leaving, and it's soldier come in businesses. Before you stabilize with the staff, then there's something coming up. They have to relocate for studies, or relocate for family, and some other issues. So talent and talent management and acquisition is a big headache for businesses, and it's killing a lot of businesses. And I'll be relating a lot of that around the tech businesses where I have a little more experience. And just to cut the whole list, I will stop at globalization and competition. In this age and time when the world is now more like a global village, your real competitors are not necessarily that next door neighbor or the next business that's your locality, or somebody playing your space, the same industry and the likes. Your competition can just come from any country. A lot of people in fabrication, in manufacturing in Nigeria will understand what I mean. When it's already costs you, let's say, 100 naira to manufacture an equipment or a device or a product you're selling, and some people from some Asian country, I don't mention the country now, from some Asian country just comes into the market and they are selling theirs for 50 naira landing costs. So how do you beat that? How do you even survive that? So globalization is a major. It has advantage, and it's also its challenges, its competition, and how it can kill businesses. All right. And please, in the next few minutes, when I'm done wrapping up, I really love this session to be engaging so that I can also learn from everybody present here and we can all interact together. So I will start about the market volatility. In our solution, in our business, for about 13 years now, we've been in the school management space. And so we've been growing gradually and steadily as a bootstrap company, trying to make sure that make ends meet, pay salaries, pay your bills, your rents, and all those things. Just cover the basic costs and let everybody be happy and be fine. Then COVID-19 came. That was a major disruption in the market. A lot of people assume that, oh, you're in the tech business now, that's when you should just thrive and just, oh, that's when you make money. But things didn't work out that way. There was a big dive first. So what happened was that before COVID, we were focusing on our school management solutions, meaning that we were automating the processes of schools from how they enroll students, to grading, and some other basic things like activities of the school, attendance, all of those processes that we try to automate on the platform. Then COVID came, and we discovered that our solution was actually majorly based on assumptions that students are in school. And that led to discovery that when students are out of school, we're not really making money. So let me shed more light into it. So let's say the platform was producing results, computations, and the likes, and students are out of school. And so there's no sort of thing like maybe biometric attendance anymore. Some features were redundant, and sending emails to school owners, oh, please, your invoice is due, and they're replying that, oh, our students are out of school, we're sorry, we'll put our subscription on hold for now. Some were giving several feedbacks were coming in, and the long and short of it was that it was a big blow on us. Business was cash flow was very truncated. We had to downsize, had to let people go, and it was a major problem. Until we realized that we needed to pivot a little. We needed to create something that meets the current market realities, especially during that COVID-19 time. And what we did was that we had to sit back and, address their problems, talk to the school. Okay, so why are you not making money? They said parents were not ready to pay because they were not ready to pay the full fee. Some were ready to pay maybe just 10%, 20% of the tuition fee. Because one, they were stating that the cost of having students in the homes is already quite much for the parents to bear because of they have to fuel the generators, electricity, internet. They have to buy hardware devices with laptops and computers and the like, so that students can join online classes and Zoom meetings and all of those things. And with that, we discovered that what we really need to sell then was distant learning solution, learning management systems. So pivoted, created a first version of ClassCube then, and we rolled it out, and that was what brought us back into business. It grew so big that in a couple of months, we already had over 6,000 users on the platform. And not even months, weeks, in just a few weeks, we already had that growth, and it started growing, and that brought us into the limelight. So that's actually one of the major ways to manage market volatility, so that you can study the new opportunities, because that challenge that came that disrupted you would have created a new opportunity. So identify the new opportunity, jump on it, and so you don't really need to start pumping in more funds, trying to push what was not selling anymore. But that way, just pivot, create something new, and try to diversify your market. So that's actually what helped us. For regulation, compliance, and the likes, that's one you can't really have a lot of immunity around it. But one of the things that I think really works most in our institution is that you have to hedge on strategic partnerships. You have to partner with people that they're already compliant, or some sort of and do some bit of your process that requires that level of compliance. So, for example, we help schools with processing their fees, school fees, automating school fees payments and the likes. But we don't have that capacity to go become a fintech like Vind and some other big organs in the space. So what we just had to do was to partner with all these fintechs. So we're just intermediary linking the schools to the tech, to the fintech. So we didn't have to undo those government regulations and all those issues around payment processing. And that has really helped us to scale that bit of the solution. For technological advancements that change in and out almost every time, would advise that no business in this age and time should take research and development lightly, because that's actually one of the major fuel for innovation. If you run a business and you have a culture where people can make suggestions, this is how it has been, this is how it will be, and forever it will be, it's a big problem, because such business will find it hard to scale and to survive a lot of financial challenges. Go raising funds or getting loans might not get you out of some of those challenges. So research and development is quite keen, especially if it's tech business. Research also involves talking to customers, getting to know their new realities, their new needs. Sometimes the demographic of your customer might have shifted, and you don't know their age bracket might have shifted. A lot of things could have happened. So that's quite important. So research and development can help to mitigate technical advancements that can put it out of business. And for economic depression in local markets, a lot of businesses now understand it, that okay, if you are earning in naira and you're paying Amazon or Google in dollars, you should know that the realities now are showing very clear and glaring to everyone. So in our own case, we usually advise, or what we do is that we also diversify our business to other industries in other locations, such that if the economy in one country or one currency is fluctuating somehow, you have a kind of not forex reserve, but some other alternative source of funding that can keep your business growing in terms of globalization. Then for cybersecurity threats, we all have either idea, or we already know that there are a lot of experts in cybersecurity. We would advise in your product design, your product development, how to embed security. So even if you've raised funds or you've gotten a loan, you'll be able to inject cash into your business. A single security breach can bring all of that crashing in a few minutes. So cybersecurity is a major challenge that we should edge against. So I won't dwell much on that. For cash flow, I will talk a little about this, but I won't be talking about cash flow from the accountant's perspective or these professionals. I will just talk about it in our own practical terms. So we have solutions where subscription based schools pay us per semester or term, sometimes per session. So meaning that our cash flow was steady, but was tied to cycles. So we had to plan and making sure that, oh, we have to target recurrent revenues to some kind of expenditures. Then those the revenue that come in at those intervals, we have to target them to capital expenditures and the like rents and some other things. But one of the things we discovered was that it was becoming a major hassle because sometimes you can have those down times where maybe one or two people miss their subscriptions, can just destabilize the entire cash flow, even if you're a big business or a small business like ours. So what we did was that we created some other products along the line that generated their own sort of revenue apart from waiting for regular cycles. So, for example, we have that's when we had a platform called examcenter.ng. So that generated its own kind of revenue, not from subscriptions, but from commissions on processing applications to schools. They are little stipends, but they make more sense when they work with the volumes and at least bring the revenue day in, day out. So every day somebody's applying and that generates the revenue instead of waiting for the subscriptions that are in cycles of terms and in sessions. And then for talent issues, in my opinion, no, I believe that yes, it's good to train, it's good to retain staff, it's good to make the environment comfortable, conducive, and protect the mental health of your staff. All those nice to have PlayStations, nice cozy office, and the likes. But no matter what you do, humans are humans. At some point, people have to move on. Their dreams could have changed. Sometimes can be family pressure, requirements. A whole lot of things can come in, and even their pure intentions, they just have to leave. And so, no business owner in this age and time should be caught unaware because people will come and go. So, what we usually advise, what we have done in our business to create pipeline for talents. For almost every single talent in the business, there are always some persons that are directly understudying and training and directly responsible to these key persons that are like that can play some sort of key man risk in the business, so that if for any reason, even if not relocation or resignation, it can even be health wise and some other issues can come up. So that pipeline can even go as far as having interns come into those departments, understanding and learning, core members and all of those things. So, and that has really helped us. And also partnering with institutions that have ready-made talents that we can get from the pool, that we can just do a little fine-tuning and we can jump on the team and join the tech team or some other departments in the business. So talent pipeline, having that pipeline that you understand. And in my own opinion, I always tell every founder that that pipeline should be something that you as a founder or as a CEO should have a direct link to. You should always know what is happening because that's like your source of raw materials that are using to process or processing to give your product or solution to the public. So you should guard that jealously as much as you guard the school, the company's finance. You should guard how you recruit and how you hire people, your corporate culture, and a whole lot of things come into that space. And lastly, when competition coming from global perspective, you have customers or you have new manufacturers or new competitors coming to your space, they're disrupting and the likes. Sometimes you might just need to redefine your customer. You might need to start having some sort of segmentation, focusing on your segments. And sometimes you might need to just iterate or the same product you try to supply, you might just tweak it a little bit and come up with a variation of the solution and try to push it into other markets and other industries where you have a sort of blue waters instead of the red competitive ocean. Oh my God, time is fast spent. I think I've been talking for so long. So I will take a stop here. And I really hope that I've been able to make some sense. And I'm open to questions and feedbacks from the talk so far. Thank you so much, Kumi. Back to you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Sensei. Thank you for teaching us, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So sorry,
You're
I didn't
welcome.
keep track
All
of
right.
time
Thank
very
you
well. I
so
think
much.
I
So
was
you can. No. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I was really enjoying all the things he talked about. How you were able to navigate some of the market challenges you had. I mean, I think your
Yeah.
story is quite very interesting, most especially because everybody knows how most business suffered during the COVID-19 period. We had businesses shut down. We had if and it was a global phenomenon, not just in this country alone.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
businesses were able to shut down. Some businesses, it was the time for them to actually really go global. A lot of businesses were able to pivot into a lot of things, right? Just like what you also rightly said. Thank you so much for sharing all these
Thank you. Thank
wonderful
you very
insights.
much. Thank you.
Welcome. All right, so you can drop your comment and businesses being able to keep up with trends in terms of research and development. I mean, I want to ask, what notable trend have you observed, for businesses over the past few years, and how do you foresee these trends evolving over time?
Hmm. Okay, thank you very much. I think I said one of them passively. I'm not a consultant or, or a finance person, but one of the trends I've seen so far is that technology-driven businesses would be the kind of business of the future, or even the current business of now that will survive the next few years or decades, or the next decade, let me put it like that. So I mentioned it passively that even if you're a furniture company, even if you are a real estate company, your tech would become one of your major assets in your business, will become one of your major driving force in your business, automating your processes. And so I see that as a trend that businesses start thinking of how to use technology, especially if you figured out your key offerings, your services, how to use technology to scale those offerings and those services. And the other bit is the one that's really glaring to everybody. AI is taking over. So if there's not, if there's something that you think AI can assist and boost your productivity around, I think it's high time start putting that into play. Those are the trends that I've seen in this space now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so let's talk a little bit about risk management too, right?
Okay.
Can you share your own perspective on balancing the risk and reward, most especially in today's volatile environment and volatile economy? What advice would you have for businesses in terms of managing risk and also balancing between taking certain risk as a business and also the rewards from it? What's your advice to businesses on
Hmm.
sort of making sure that
Okay.
there's an equilibrium here?
Yeah. So first of all, you already know that entrepreneurship is not a risk on its own. So the fact that I decided to become an entrepreneur, you're already on the risk level. So there's a level of risk that you've taken to step out. And in my own philosophy, I believe that as a business, if you don't take risks, there's a high chance of stalling and dying. You need to take the risk to. I remember the first time, or maybe the last time, I ever jump or dive out of an airplane, and I had to take that jump. It was a scary one, but until you jump, you don't know what will happen, and but you don't just jump blindly. You're checking your harness. Is your parachute safe? Is your this safe? And once you discover that, okay, yeah, you have some sort of safety net. So there's a difference between risk and recklessness. When you are setting up some just key safety nets that, okay, if this fails, then this is the backup. So in our own case, for example, now we are quite familiar with a business. A whole department in the technology business earlier this year became a separate entity on its own, became a company. That's Revoke Media. And media was born out of the fact that we needed to create some sort of studio for learning management platform owners that want to record content and the likes. But a camera that's recording content for learning would also record content for podcasts. It's the same camera, same shutter, same edit, cuts and paste and all those things. So we had to diversify that and create some sort of investment, and some sort of revenue started coming in from there. So risks is in its own bit. As an entrepreneur, you must always have that trick of the risk, but also have safety nets. That, okay, if this fails, then what next? What's your landing cushion? And once you have that landing cushion and you're sure, most of us are people of faith. So take the leap of faith and jump, then move. So that's just my philosophy. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Also, so let's talk about mistakes, right?
Mm.
I mean, in your own experience, what would you say are the common and I want to limit it to finance. So I know you're not a finance expert, but I think you can answer this. So what common financial mistake do you think businesses make? I mean, in your own experience, and how do you think they can avoid them?
So, in my opinion, I think one of the biggest mistakes some people do is trying to think that pumping funds into a business also means scaling up. It's a very, very, very wrong idea. So I love using vehicles as example because a lot of people relate to cars. Sometimes for cars, no matter how hard you press the accelerator, no matter how much fuel is pumping into the combustion engine, when an engine has gotten to probably its maximum or it's already accelerating at its maximum acceleration capacity, you are just pumping excess fuel and burning it out unnecessarily. It won't yield the same. The efficiency is gone, so it's not yielding the same results. So a lot of business owners try to just assume that okay, pumping funds to the business means scaling it up. But sometimes it's just as simple as fine tuning first to identify your key areas, your key strengths, and that's when you can now start putting some funds. So that's one of the major finance mistakes I've seen in the ecosystem where people make that mistake. Another mistake, so at some point too, we made some mistakes along the line. Another mistake that's very common is people jumping in with two legs. So there's a new risk, there's a new opportunity, and in your market or industry, then you take all of your attention, all of your finance, and pump into that new opportunity and trying to harness it. It's a big mistake, in my own opinion. As an entrepreneur, I've seen that fail a couple of times. So most times when I want to take a new risk, I keep one leg as a as a major pivot, and then try to test the waters with the other opportunity or the other leg and try to stay safe. So those are the common mistakes I've seen in navigating finance there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think I'll bring Chinwe also on board. Chinwe, do you have any question while I try and go through our social media platforms to get some of the other questions that are dropping? So over to you, Chinwe.
Okay.
Chinwe,
And my
are you there?
question is,
Okay.
yes,
Chinwe, you can go ahead.
yeah, can you
I think
hear
Chinwe is
me?
having some challenges with a network. I think Chinwe is having some challenges with a net. So I have a question here from our
Okay.
audience, and they're asking in terms of what tools would you recommend for businesses that are looking to improve financial literacy and most especially decision making as a business? So what sort of tools and resources?
Tools. Um, I'm trying to understand tools because when I think of tools, I'm a tech founder. What's coming to my
Or
mind
maybe,
is
or
technology
let's
stack.
say maybe resources. Yeah, or let's say resources, basically, whether reading materials or maybe your own personal experience. What would you say is what you use in terms of decision making for some key decision making within the company itself? Maybe you
Hmm.
want to share your own
Okay.
perspective on that.
So, okay. I think most of the things I use, I wouldn't say, okay, I don't know their technical terms. I know I've learned them at some points in some sort of training or reading some books, but I can't remember the technical terms. So, for example, let's say we need to make a critical, every financial decision in the business. Maybe we need to acquire something and all those things, all those kind of big decisions. So what we do is that myself, my co-founder, and team, what we just do is that okay, there's some sort of charts. It's simple. So the first question we ask is that what's the worst thing that will happen if we do not do this thing, if we don't invest in this, if we don't take this action? What's the worst thing? The worst thing that will happen. We'll note it, right? Good. Then what's the best thing that would happen when we take this risk? Then what happens if we don't take the risk? So we analyze all of those things. And sometimes if we see that, okay, this thing that will cost us, so let's say X amount. Okay, let me make it practical. Let's say this thing will cost us 2 naira. And when we spend this 2 naira, there's a probability, not certainty. There's a probability that this thing will generate 10 naira down the line in the next maybe 12 months. Beautiful, right? So that's noted. But if it fails, what is the impact of the loss of 2 naira on the business? So if that 2 naira at that moment is something that the business can afford to say that, okay, from day one, as we are putting this investment in, if it doesn't return, we are good, we are fine. Then there's a high chance we take that risk. It's high time. So I can't remember the English term for it. So there are several other kind of tools like that we do to like come up with our decisions, even as simple as a software company where we provide software as a service. You work with over 1,000 schools, and schools are sending you requests for features and the likes. We don't jump on and start coding the features. We internally hold on, then wait for the next set of queries again. Okay, another school has asked, another school, more like an internal tally system. Oh, now 20 schools are asking for this feature. Okay, we really need to do it. Because if you just try to meet up and try to code everything and get everything done to the system, just go crazy and burn out the entire team. So those are the just few things I can remember of the part now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I have another question here, and this is talking with respect to you talking about talent management and also the human element too. And I want to speak more of leadership. What role
Okay.
do you think leadership and also company culture also plays in fostering sound financial practices within the company?
Okay. Sound financial practices.
Yeah, whether sound financial practices or just healthy businesses, right? Basically, right.
Okay.
What role
So
would you say
mm,
leadership and company culture plays?
all right. So in my opinion, I've seen this happen a couple of times. I think a lot of businesses are reflections of the founders' leadership style, leadership capacity, or even sometimes lifestyle. And as leaders, sometimes a lot of our unspoken words grow longer than words we speak or emails we send. So, for example, as let's say you're CEO, you're going out with your team, and you're on let's say a work trip, and you are the first person to order a bottle of drink that is $5,000, and we brought out a card, is a corporate card, you swiped, right? And next you get back to the office. The next week you're back in the country and you're sending emails about we have to be prudent in our finances. We have to be. It's just all English because most of the actions you've taken has gone a long way than the emails or the words you're saying. So I think that's quite important. Another thing is that I always advise that as founders, as much as possible, try to invest in people than things. Um, People will most likely give you better yield, in my opinion. So those are just my opinions. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I'll bring Chinwe back. I think Chinwe is back.
Okay.
She was having some
All right.
network challenges before, so she can ask. Hi, Chinwe, are you there now? You can unmute your mic. You wanted to ask a question earlier on. You can go on now.
Okay.
Hi, Chinwe, are you
Yes,
there?
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. You can go on with your question.
Yes. Hey, can you hear me now? Okay, so
Oh, I think I lost the audio.
Yeah, so I think she's still having. So on a final note, we just want you to sort of share with us within your own company what sort of services do you have that you think can help businesses grow, whether they are schools or other businesses that you think fit into the sort of product that you sell. Just on a final note.
Okay, more like our offerings that can help businesses.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
like you might be aware now, uh, from January, we're delving into bigger challenge than what we've been trying to solve. And that's the Revolucube Energy, the power issue we're trying to resolve for businesses and schools. So for over 5 years, we've been on renewable energy systems, solar powered office and the likes. And we've answered a lot of questions. We assisted a lot of friends and family set up these solutions. One of the biggest bottleneck, a lot of people understand that, yeah, solar is good, solar is better, it's cheaper and the likes, but they can't afford the upfront costs. It's a lot of money to invest that. So an average Nigerian would rather keep buying a cup of rice from the regular monthly salary than take a bulk of that salary to buy a bag of rice to cut down costs. So what we're doing now is that we're now partnering with a lot of finance companies, providing this same solution as a service. So you see companies, you see schools having solar systems installed from 5 kVA to about 120 kVA installed in their facilities without paying any dime upfront, and it's just a subscription service. So they just pay subscription fee every month, which would be very, very comfortable for them compared to burning diesel and the like. So that's one of the major offerings we're having for businesses and schools starting from this December to next year. So I think hopefully if you need help with power, you can reach out to us and we can try to help and cut down your cost on diesel. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Olarenwaju. All right, just to also say, I mean, it's also worthy to note that Vintage and Revolucube have also been in partnership, right, to providing
Yes,
finance to schools and also,
finance
so
for
I mean,
schools.
yeah, so we just also want to, let school owners know that are currently listening to us also. If you're a school owner, you can sign up on RevoCube. When you sign up on RevoCube, you also get access to capital. So we have capital providers, financial institutions that are currently on Vintage Cube that can provide finance to you today. Thank you so much, our sensei. I'll start calling you
Thank you.
sensei now. You're our teacher. Thank
I
you so
hope I
much
was
for
able to make
sharing.
sense at all. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much for
Thanks for
sharing your
having me.
word of wisdom with you. We really
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this amazing session today. And so for me, that concludes our insightful session on navigating financial landscape. Thank you so much, Larry, for sharing such valuable insights and expertise with us today. All right, so before we go, we'd love to hear your thoughts about today's session. Um, I believe your feedback is incredibly valuable to us as we strive to bring you content that resonates and also adds value to your professional journey and also to your business. So we're encouraging you to please share your key takeaways. I personally, I have learned a lot. I think one of the quotes I got today was that cash is not really king and cash flow is really king. Yeah, it's those are one of the insights that Larry shared with us. So we really want to have your takeaways, your thoughts, or even just a shout out on your social media platform. Please let us know what you found most enlightening about today's discussion. And if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, you can find us at Vind HQ. That's VEEND then HQ. On Twitter, we are at Vind Official. That's VEEND then official. And over at Instagram, you can connect with us at VindHQ. That's VEENDHQ. This feedback will help us to shape future webinars and also ensure that we continue to deliver content that is tailored to your interests and needs. So please don't hesitate to drop your comment and share your insights and tag us. Remember, this conversation doesn't stop here, right? We need you to connect with us, engage with our community, and stay updated on our upcoming event. Thank you all for being such an amazing audience. We look forward to seeing you in our future session. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, stay and keep navigating this financial landscape with confidence. I'm Kumi. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.